Number 1. The speaker introduced Mr. Lee Kim, author of Amazon Adventure. Mr. Kim, a retired lawyer, amateur photographer, and now a writer, had spent the year before traveling by canoe down to the Amazon River. Next, he said that Mr. Lee would discuss his travels in the Amazon region, on which he had based his book, and showed some of the photographs he had took during the trip. Finally, the speaker thought he was sure to have some amazing stories and suggested the audience hold on to their seats. Number 2. The speaker thanked the audience for taking the time to attending the meeting. Next, he announced that staff members have been making an authorized charge to the office expense account for things like lunches and taxi rides that were not related to their jobs. As a result of that, in the future, all charges to the office expense account must be approved by him ahead of time. Number 3. Speaker announced that all schools would be closed that day because of the night before snowstorm. The street was still icy and dangerous for cars and buses. Next, he said that it was possible that schools would be remain closed for several days, as it could take some time to get all the streets clean and safe for travel. Finally, he suggested the audience listen to the evening news to find out the following day's school schedule. Number 4. The speaker wanted to know if the audience got their sports news from television, and if they were getting tired of all the commercial interruptions on TV. They didn't have to be annoyed by commercials anymore, because their magazine gave them all the latest sports news commercial free. Next, he suggested them read it to find out what's happening in the world of football, baseball and basketball, and also to learn all about their favorite athletes. Finally, he suggested them subscribe that. Number 5. The speaker suggested Service Inc. planned the audience following conference. Then he said that they would take care of it all, reserving rooms, printing schedules, ordering food, arranging entertainment. Their experienced planners take the headache out of the conference. Then he guaranteed that their following conference would be a success. Finally, he suggested calling that day for their initial free consultation. Number 6. The speaker suggested the audience chase those winter blues away by taking a trip to a sun-filled island. Next, he said they offered both weekend and week-long packages to the Sunshine Islands and suggested choose a cruise, stay at a resort, or relax at a quaint village inn. Take a fast-paced tour of an island's hotspots, or opt for a slow-paced, local visit to the beach. He thought that the audiences could love their luxury accommodation and their economical prices. Finally, he suggested them call that day to book their tour. Number 7. The speaker said that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. Some people skipped breakfast as part of weight reducing plan, but he thought that was not a good idea. Studies has shown that people who didn't eat a complete meal, including foods, every morning actually end up gaining weight. They also often felt tired later in the midday and compensated for that by eating unhealthy food. Finally, he announced that healthy people never skipped breakfast. Number 8. The speaker wanted to know the audience if their health insurance covered all their needs and if they would pay for hospitalization, if it would cover them if they had an accident far from home, if it could pay for prescription medicine if it provided coverage for their husband or wife and other family members. Then he suggested them not to spend their life worrying as their insurance rates get higher and higher. Finally, he announced that their insurance plan covers all their medical expenses at reasonable rates, wherever they might be. At 9, the speaker introduced themselves and said that they began that afternoon with 3 solid hours of classic rock music. That was 3 solid hours with no commercial interruptions. That he said that would be followed by an exciting new interview show in which they talked with all their favorite rock musicians, both past and current. Finally, he said they would have the weather report at 5 before they move on to their new evening news analysis program. Number 10. The speaker announced that a protest against the increase in the sales tax had taken place in front of the presidential palace, and the day before, protesters say the sales tax wasn't fair to business owners or consumers, but their newly elected mayor supports the tax increase. She said it would help, not harm, small businesses and strengthen the city's economy. Finally, the speaker said that the new tax went into effect the following month.